Hello everyone, welcome back to Crimson Gray. Let's go ahead and continue. In the morning, for once, John felt brighter than everyone else. The school had the flag at half-mast in the morning, and the class was cancelled so they could have a special assembly about the incident. It seemed to have shaken everyone else to the core, but John felt fine. He knew that something was deeply wrong, but he just felt comfortably numb. Of course, even at his brightest, he didn't exactly look happy, so no one gave him a second thought. Most students were wrapped up in themselves anyway. After school, he received a note from Mrs. Smith saying he should come in to talk about how he felt about the whole thing. Not really necessary, but he appreciated her concern. Until he got inside. Hi, Lizzie? What are you doing here? Lizzie sat in a chair, obviously uncomfortable, while Mrs. Smith sat nearby, swearing through several bottles of Koitek drugs. John, glad you can make it. Sure. Why is Lizzie here? There are a lot of traumatized couples in the wake of the incident. I thought I should do some counseling so no one makes decisions they regret. Thank you, but is that really necessary? While he spoke, he managed to catch Lizzie's eye. All he saw there was uncertainty, but she was hard to read. Go ahead, John. Sit down. I hope this hasn't been too hard on you. I'm, managing. It's hard to believe. The reality will probably set in increasingly over time. I think it might actually be good to increase your dosage. Why does he need to take more? Lizzie, you have to understand, John isn't well. There's nothing wrong with him, he just needs a little help. That's true, though now that you speak up, Lizzie, have you ever considered taking some medication yourself? Your behavior could probably use some normalizing. What is that supposed to mean? I'm talking to her, not you. Lizzie, would you be willing to take a few medications? Yeah, okay. I was afraid of this. Wait. Mrs. Smith's eyes have changed. Let me go back. Yeah, they have changed. Dear God. Hey, nah, look, I want to see from Mrs. Smith. Without warning, Mrs. Smith stuck Lizzie's arm with something that glinted silver. He only saw a glimpse of what looked like a syringe before Mrs. Smith pulled back and it was hidden in her sleeve. The effect on Lizzie was instantaneous. She grimaced and dropped to the floor, gripping her arm. John tried to go to her, but Mrs. Smith moved to stop him. You should stay away. She isn't stable. What the hell did you do to her? This was nothing but a confirmation of what I already suspected. John, I'm sorry, but Lizzie is not a normal girl. Shut up, don't say that! No, you don't understand. She was exposed to the same chemicals as the murderer last night. Without heavy medication, there's no way she can be normal. But she said she would take it. She lied. I don't know how, but she somehow gained a degree of stability. Without any moral compass, that makes her far more dangerous. I'm sorry, John, but she needs to be sedated for her own good. A sedative? Maybe for you. Oh, wow. How'd you sneak that in, Lizzie? Laughing wildly, Lizzie lunged forward. Her knife flickered out and stabbed Mrs. Smith's chest. Oh my god, she stabbed Mrs. Smith in the school. The older woman stared in shock, struggling with Lizzie's arm, but couldn't prevent the second stab, or the third, or the fourth. Oh my god, she's probably dead. John could only stare in horror as Lizzie stabbed her over and over again. His mind was completely and utterly blank. Still stabbing repeatedly, Lizzie looked up at him. She gave a tearful smile, broken by the occasional laugh. I'm sorry, John. It's too strong. It's in my mind. Lizzie, what's going on? The drug she gave me. I won't be able to hold back. If I stay, I'll hurt you. I couldn't live with myself if that happened. I'm sorry, John. I had to go away. Wait, but... Do you love me, John? Yes, I love you, Lizzie. I'm so happy. I love you too. Forever. And then Lizzie sliced through her own throat. Oh! John stared in horror as her body slumped to the ground, light going out of her eyes. He wasn't sure how long he stood there. Lizzie? Somehow by the time they found him, he was holding her body and weeping. He couldn't feel the tears or hear anything they said. The events of the following days barely penetrate the gray fog filling his mind. There was an investigation. He was declared just a victim. Everyone offered him sympathy that they had never offered before. And he didn't care. Everyone chose to forget about the string of murders and got back to their lives, leaving him kneeling with their body unto the world that was nothing but endless gray. Game over! Hope glimmers stronger on another path. Start the game for a better result. Okay. What could we have done differently? Maybe we should lie about Lizzie? Let's try that. Hint your word about Lizzie, ask for more practicing, tell the truth, lie about everything. I don't know, this vacation was weird. I felt okay. Not great, but okay. Were you able to take a trip with your family? A change of scenery might have done you some good. Nah, we didn't do anything, but I guess a few things have changed for me lately. Maybe you're right. Okay, we got a red text, so let's skip that. All's normal. Okay, we got to the scene with different text. I think we should go. Stay far away from this. I'm not arguing with you there. She went with him to his door and he kissed her goodnight, but they both knew that things hadn't been entirely settled. Not yet. He tried to watch the news, but it was all meaningless speculation about what could have caused the girl to murder her boyfriend so brutally. he had to turn off after only a few minutes. Though there were still some more questions, so when he went to bed, he found they were slipped away from him and he fell asleep remarkably quickly. That night he had a dream that Lizzie had murdered both his classmates. He saw her standing over the torn open bodies, covered in their blood. She saw him and bared her teeth in a smile, and then kissed him, and then... It wasn't a bad dream. The next morning, John woke feeling the best he'd felt in a long time. He had to remind himself that most people would be in mourning over the 2 murders the night before. The school had the flag at half-mast and the class was cancelled so they could have a special assembly about the incident. It meant basically nothing to him, and to most of the other students as well. It seemed to have shaken everyone else to the core, but John still felt good. Maybe that meant something was wrong with him, but he didn't really care. He felt like he and Lizzie were even closer than before. But when she arrived, there was a strange look on her face. John, something is wrong. Someone wants to take you away from me. Lizzie, are you feeling well? Please, we need to run away together or we won't have another chance. It seemed like she had become more unstable, and what she was saying must have been her paranoia. Yet, she seemed strangely intense about the whole thing. Just run away? How would that even work? I mean plans. We could do it, I'm sure. As serious as she sounded, perhaps this was unnecessary for her to stay stable. But doing something that wild out of nowhere, after everything that had happened to them, could he? Would that just make her even worse? I guess we run away. Where would we go? Won't that just attract the attention? No, I'm prepared. We can say the murder made us want to transfer, then go away and live safe from all this. If you say so, then I trust you. Then we need to get away from here. Far, far away. That very day, Lizzie arranged everything, pulling him out of school and apparently faking the permission slips. She seemed in earnest, madly jealous, as if a woman would swoop in at any moment and take him away. John went along with her in a daze, shocked by how fast it happened. Lizzie told him to say the murder had shaken him up too much, wouldn't let him see anyone, even Mrs. Smith. Other students were also shell-shocked, so it didn't raise too much attention. But when they left town, in a car with supplies Lizzie had prepared, John almost felt like someone was following them. Was Lizzie's paranoia just rubbing off on him? He told himself it had to be that, because eventually the feeling vanished. They moved away, finished school, found their lives. For years afterward, John wondered about that moment. Had he made the right choice to support Lizzie, or had he just encouraged unnecessary paranoia? Maybe it didn't matter at all. Somehow he couldn't make himself believe that. Perhaps in another life, things could have gone differently. Occasionally, he wondered why Lizzie still seemed so nervous about the whole entire thing. When he asked, she just told him that it didn't matter anymore. They were safe. As the years passed, she began to calm down. She still had days where she needed him to hold her tight, just like he had days where he needed her support. Despite everything, they were a normal couple. After they were married, Lizzie softened again. His co-workers told him he was lucky to have such a beautiful, devoted wife, and he was. Wow, they're so grown up. How nice. He looks happy. I'm happy there's color. He's not so gray anymore. He just had to pretend that he was the one with the enormous collection of knives. And I got good. There is another path. Another path. How could we change things up? Maybe we could try going back to the first night, again kidnapped, and then running away. Beg, stand firm, run. How about we run? He ducked low and sprinted for the door, heedless of crashing against the wall. Don't run away. As he reached the front foyer, John dared to look behind him, and saw that Lizzie was right on his heels, still smiling. He gave a strangled cry and tried to put everything he had into running, but it didn't matter. Lizzie kept pace with him, and then slamming into the door brought up him short. He groaned at the impact, and then he felt her axe go straight into his back. Oh my god, killed me! John cried out in pain, while Lizzie began crying. Why, John? You were the only thing I had. The only thing. She kept speaking through her tears, but each word was fainter and fainter. Soon all he could focus on was the middle of the axe so deep inside of him. And when that sensation faded, there was nothing left. Oops. You start the game for better results. There is another path. Okay, well, what could we do differently? What is this? Trust her, make it break her. No, that's the same. How about this one? Beg for release, reason or charm her. Maybe not that safe. This safe? Try to chain the forever with some different target. Let's look for let's look for tools. Let's try running away first, and then if this doesn't work, we'll try looking for weapons and then killing Lizzie maybe. His table had been placed to be out of reach of the weapons lining one wall, but that put him close to the other wall. John managed to get around to the table to it and began examining them. There was a middle cupboard that appeared to be locked, but he looked through the rest. There was a toolbox that he had thought was locked at first. Eventually he realized it was only stuck. After enough effort, he got it open and looked through. Most of it was random aging tools, but he found a screwdriver that looked to be in good shape. Could he use this to escape? He saw several possibilities, but at that moment he heard Lizzie return. It was too late. Though John spent all of his Saturday tense, Lizzie showed no signs of intending to hurt him. That night she brought her mattress and bedding down to the basement and set it up close enough that he could lie down on it. Oh, this is the same text. Let's get that. Let's see, what was this one? I want to get that down, but I'm gonna let it take quite time. Okay. Refused to tell her, lie about old medication, request old medication. Okay, what if we tried requesting of the old medication? That's out of the question. Let's try refusing. No. Paxton is all that gets me through the day. I need it. John. She stayed away from him the entire day, but he could hear her moving around above him. It sounded like she was pacing, except her footsteps were too random and uneven. When she brought him food, she smiled, but her eyes were hard. John tried to beg her, but she refused to answer. What the hell was with her paranoia? Did she hate Koitek because of her mother? He had no answers, and Lizzie let them alone. Without her to distract him, he only slid deeper into depression. Okay, got the same text, so let's skip to this. To the anything new? Personally, he couldn't get into the movie at all. The grayness of everything around him drained all satisfaction from the activity. Okay, let's find some new text. Though he was feeling even more depressed than before, John had enough perspective to realize that they wouldn't make progress in this. He needed to shift things somehow. Okay. Skip. Yeah. Conversation of interest, romance, peers, morality. What did we ask last time? Morality? Or was it interest? Or was it romance? I think I'm gonna try interest this time. You look like you're studying really hard there. Maybe a little. If I don't do this work, then the teachers bother me, and I don't like that. Do you have a favorite subject? No, they don't matter. Well, maybe chemistry. I started paying attention because it seemed so useful, and I guess now I think it's a little interesting. Useful? Really? That's just for decomposing a body, Lizzie? Oh yes, chemistry classes are where I learned how to make chloroform. Oh. That's great. It's the same as with my knives. I don't need so many, but I guess I like them a little. They're wonderful objects. Beauty and functionality fused together. Wow, that was kind of poetic. You thought so? You actually liked it? I'm so happy. For the rest of the day, Lizzie actually opened up a little more about her interests. Most of them were a little disturbing, but he was glad to see her care about anything other than him. Okay. He woke up in a foul mood, half depressed and half angry. Lizzie was watching him with a concerned look on her face. Are you sure I can bring you medicine, John? I'm not going to bring you Paxton. There's no point. That displeased her, and he really didn't want to go down that road, so John cast about for a topic to distract her. That reminds me, I've been meaning to ask. We've run out of nihilizing, right? Oh, same text. Skip. Could there be any validity to what she said? These days, it took all the energy he had to just interact with Lizzie. He was declining, and declined fast. All at once, he felt completely alone. He called out for Lizzie, but of course she had already gone. Was this all he was worth? Just a plaything of an insane girl? Yes. His own father hadn't even noticed that he was gone over the vacation. None of his friends had called. To them, he might as well not exist. He might as well not exist. John spent a long time just sitting there motionlessly, descending even further into self-loathing. None of it mattered. It was all a cruel joke. If this was what the rest of his life was going to be like, it wasn't worth it. He came to that realization in a horrible moment of clarity and stood to his feet. Driven by desperation, John managed to shove the table closer to the wall filled with weapons. That gave him enough slack to reach out and grasp one of the sharpest-looking knives. He had thought about ending it all before. In his darkest moments, he had even tried to learn more about exactly how it could be done. A few cuts to his wrists, and that would be the last pain he would have to feel. It'd all really be over. Before he could stop himself, he sat down, gripped the knife as hard as he could, and cut. He always wondered what he would feel, aside from the pain. Sometimes he thought it would be a relief, a sensation of finally being done with this horrible life washing him over him. In his more stable moments, he wondered if he wouldn't feel a sense of regret, a final desperate desire for life after it was too late. Instead, he felt nothing. Okay, we died there, so let's try. Choose to save with the vaccine, the medicine. Was it this one? Oh, let's see. Let's try to look for tools again. We skipped this again. We lie about the old medication. Afraid she might be trying to drug him. John struggled to remember other medications he'd tried. He mentioned a few names of ones that hadn't seemed to have much effect on him. Lizzie nodded, but there was an emptiness to her eyes. When she went upstairs, she didn't leave the house, just paced about erratically. When she brought him food, she smiled, but her eyes were hard. John tried to beg her, but she refused to answer. What the hell was it with her paranoia? Did she hate Pt.5 because of her mother? He had no answers, and Lizzie let them alone. Without her to distract him, he only slid deeper into depression. Alright, same as usual. Okay. Let's see. Let's try romance this time. You know, earlier you said that you didn't do much for fun before, but I'm not sure that's true. You seem to have spent an awful lot of time imagining us being together, dates and everything else. Yes, I've dreamt so many times of our first everything. But not just our first. The second times will be wonderful too. And we'll just get closer and closer together until no one can take us apart. I don't think I've ever heard you mention marriage, though. Oh, of course I want to get married, but I didn't want to mention it because I read that it can scare away boys. Oh yes, I've imagined it so much. We should use one of those old cathedrals and I can wear a beautiful white dress. And the pictures. We'll have a perfect picture of us on our wedding day that we can keep forever and ever. Who are you imagining attending this wedding? Does there need to be anyone else? Pretty sure you need at least one person there to do the actual marrying, or it doesn't count legally. Oh. Yes, I suppose we need to have that person. And someone to take the photos. And it's okay if you want to invite people from your family, I guess. I don't really care about them. Honestly, no, I'm not sure I have anyone who would come. Aw, John, don't feel bad. I don't have any family members to attend either. We'll make our own family, won't we? We won't need to care about anyone else. For the rest of the day, Lizzie was floating on a cloud of positive emotions. When she gazed at him adoringly, John found himself smiling back. Okay, is this where we kill ourselves again? Yep, we killed ourselves. So let's get the medicine. Let's get the medicine first. Let's request the old medication. Try to look for tools. Let's talk about maybe romance. And then let's I think we have two. Let's try looking for weapons. His table had been placed fairly far from the weapons lining the walls, and no amount of strain could get him close enough. But after a few unsuccessful tries, John realized that he might be able to push the table even if he couldn't lift it. Though more difficult than he expected, by bracing himself on the floor and throwing his whole body into it, he could nudge the table a little at a time. After a while, that got him close enough to reach the weapons. He didn't dare taking the ones placed carefully on the walls, but there was a number of rusty knives lying unused. One of them was slim enough that he could hide it in his pocket. It might not do a lot of good, but he felt better having something to defend himself. A moment later, he was overwhelmed with a sense of dread that Lizzie would return and see the table move. He set to work pushing it back into place. Though it was even harder to push it the other way, he managed to return exactly its former position. John slumped down into his chair and let his heart calm down. An uncomfortably short amount of time later, he had Lizzie return on the floor above. He sat calmly and tried to pretend he didn't have a knife in his pocket. Okay. What was the question? Let's what would I say? So I kissed her, okay? Shoot. I think I'm at a disadvantage. So let's go in the safe route and kiss her. Oh. Instead of answering a question that might not have any good answer, John leaned forward and kissed Lizzie gently. She gave a surprised gasp, kissed back for a moment, and suddenly pulled back. John, why did you kiss me? Isn't that what you want? Yes, it's exactly what I want. You've been giving me exactly what I want. This isn't right. I've ruined it. I've ruined everything. Lizzie, what are you talking about? You thought you needed to manipulate me, didn't you? Play with my feelings so I wouldn't hurt you. This is all my fault. I drove you to this. Lizzie rushed out of the room and slammed the door behind her. When she returned later in the day, she pretended like the kiss had never happened. John did the same, but he couldn't help but feel like something was different. Maybe I screwed up. Let's look for tools. He considered using it as a weapon and rejected the idea. He couldn't effectively swing something that heavy in the basement, but it could definitely have other uses. At first he tried to wedge the end under the leg table, lifted enough for him to slip the chain off. But the table legs were flat and he just didn't have the strength for it. He tried again, more desperately, but his efforts were still failed. At that moment he heard Lizzie return. It was too late. Everything was in its place, including him slumped down on the chair. He could only hope that he had done enough. He waited in silence while Lizzie went upstairs, putting away what she had bought. Eventually, he heard the door open and she skipped down the stairs with a smile. "John, how are you?" "I'm going to let you go tomorrow." "Huh? Really? You aren't worried I will tell someone?" "I am. If you told someone, it would hurt me so much. But I can't hold you here forever. I want to keep you here forever, but I want you to choose to stay with me even more. That would be best." "I see." "You're not happy." "After all this, do you really expect my emotions to be simple?" "Do you hate me?" "No, I don't think so." "That is good. But I want more than that." "I know, but you're going to have to wait. You can't rush a relationship by forcing it." "I know. Next time you can choose when to ask me out, okay?" "Okay. Maybe we did something good." His remaining time in the basement passed easily, almost casually. They didn't speak much about what was coming and especially not about what had happened. They watched 2 more movies, chatted about simple things, finished up the last of their vacation homework. And on Sunday, Lizzie appeared in silence and unlocked the chain that kept them bound to the table. He stared at her and wished he could find something to say, but his mouth was too dry to speak. She opened her hand, palm up, and pointed at his pocket. John realized that she had known and winced. He removed the knife slowly and handed it to her, and she said nothing. That made things even more awkward, but he couldn't think of anything to say even to make it even slightly easier. Eventually he left. He thought he might have seen a glimmer of tears in her eyes, but it might have been his imagination. The entire ride back, he tried to think about his experiences, but couldn't even begin to grasp everything that had happened. Okay, we got some red text. He didn't spot Lizzie at all, but when he opened his locker, he discovered a folded note in the center. It said, "Good morning, John," surrounded by hearts. Maybe this would be a recovery phase? Despite himself, John smiled a little. When he looked up, he saw Lizzie around the nearby corner, and she smiled back before vanishing. Okay, red text. Let's... what, something in John. Alright, Miss Smith, what am I gonna say to you this time? I'm curious if I say, tell her the truth. Curious. Actually, I'm afraid of Lizzie. I don't know what, but there's something really wrong with her. Afraid? Are you concerned she might harm you or someone else? Has she issued an actual threat? I'm not trying to dismiss your concerns, John. In fact, I'm very willing to act on them. However, without evidence, it might be better to contact a different authority. Pt.5 has measures that... No! You barged in. John, why? Why would you betray me? Lizzie. And you lied to me. I thought I could trust you now. Stop that! While Lizzie had been focused on him, Mrs. Smith had been quietly removing something from her desk. She hesitated when Lizzie looked at her, but then kept moving. This is your fault! You want to take him away from me! Oh, she's really angry. She doesn't usually bare her teeth like that. Now Lizzie, calm down. There's no need to make wild accusations. Can all? Lizzie leapt across the room, her knife flashing at Mrs. Smith's throat. To John's shock, the older woman actually dodged back, but out of the way at the last. Not only that, but her hand came up from her desk, carrying a syringe that she attempted to plunge straight into Lizzie's chest. But Lizzie was faster, bringing her knife down on the other woman's wrist. Mrs. Smith gave a cry of pain and dropped the syringe, and then it was too late. Ah, damn it. Mrs. Smith, you're supposed to save me. Lizzie's next slash went straight through her throat, carrying a spray of blood with it before the rest began to flow down her neck. Lizzie turned toward him slowly. Her face was covered in blood, but he was more concerned about the emptiness growing in her eyes. I should have just ended it quietly. We could have been happy. Lizzie, what are you doing? I'm sorry, John. There's nothing else I can say to you. She rushed at him, just as he had known she would, but he didn't have the energy to dodge. It didn't matter. She was going to get him in the end anyway. It hurt, but not as much as he had been expecting. He stared at the blood flowing down his body with no real emotion. Weeping, Lizzie leaned forward to kiss him. Her lips were strangely warm. No, it's just that his body was growing warm as the blood rushed out of it. The warmth increased, dissolving what remained of his thoughts. And then it was very cold, but not for long. And we're dead again. That was a bad idea. Let's try one more time, and then we gotta end the episode. Tell us for practice. Ask for more practice. Shouldn't you have enough to last you through the end of the month? Well, I feel like it's not enough. Could I take a double dose? We don't recommend that. What I can do, however, is prescribe you a much stronger formulation of Praxtine. Does that sound fine? Yeah, okay. I wouldn't normally do this, but you've been responsive to the normal formulation. So hopefully this will improve your condition further. She gave him a new bottle of pills. They looked basically the same as the old ones, and even the label wasn't much different. But he would take whatever he could get. Within a week, he already felt different. Not better. It was as if all his emotions had been flattened into a single gray line, leaving him impervious to the world around. In some ways, it was comforting. He never woke up too depressed to move and did his work every day. He also never woke up happy, but the longer he was on the medication, the less he cared about that. The one thing that bothered him at the beginning was that his thinking seemed to have been flattened as well. Only a trickle of mundane thoughts occupied his mind. In time, that seemed like enough. After all, it was easier not to think about what Lizzie had done to him, or about how she was acting more and more erratically now. John? I feel like the John I know is slipping away. You aren't going to say anything anymore, are you? then it's better for our love to end like this than to just fade away. He saw her raise her knife and felt a flicker of some emotion. But it was too late. He was too tired and his world was too gray. Her knife entered his chest and he felt that. It was the first thing he had felt in a long time. John clutched at his wound, but he couldn't stop the bleeding. Lizzie turned the knife on herself and plunged it into her own chest. Leaving it there, she leaned forward and kissed him on the lips. Then she slumped over, dead before he was, as if her purpose for existing was gone. He lay there staring at her until even the sight of her body faded away to nothing. There. There's another path. Okay, that's truth. Bad. Paxton, very bad. Lizzie, bad. So we lie. We lie about everything. I don't know. This vacation was weird. I felt okay. Not great, but okay. Were you able to take a trip with your family? A change of scene might have done you some good. Nah, we didn't do anything, but I guess a few things have changed for me lately. Maybe you're right. Apparently, Mrs. Smith thought he was doing better. Oh, red text. Let's skip. He spent some time with Lizzie, but they didn't do anything too intense. Just shorter, fun dates, nothing too romantic. The sky still looked very gray to him, but he felt lighter than he had in a long time. Alright. Red text. Okay. Eventually, he sat back and tapped his fingers on the desk, wondering if it was worth continuing. Lizzie, when I was at your house, you made some pretty strong statements about Pt.5. Do you know anything about them? No, I'm sorry, John. I can't really help you. It's just a feeling. A strong feeling. Not as strong as the sense that you're the one I was looking for, but I'm certain that they don't want what's best. Sure. Does any corporation? This is different. After that, though, she couldn't explain herself any further. Seeing she didn't like the topic of conversation, John decided to let it go. It's not like you can learn anything meaningful about them. I mean, we're just a couple of kids. It's not like their secrets will be printed in the local paper. Well, we can leave it. We have more immediate concerns, don't we? Yes. Actually, I had something I've been wanting to ask you. Okay. Red text. And I think I will save this for next time. If you are enjoying this video, please leave a like and comment what you think so far of what happened. And if you want to watch more videos of this visual novel, please check the playlist down below. If you want to watch other visual novels, please check my channel down below and please subscribe. Anyways, thank you and take care.